Asterisk. It was a grey morning over London. Thick clouds loomed, heavy with a strange kind of weight, as though the sky itself knew something was about to shift. Asterisk. Something ancient, something irreversible. Asterisk. Buckingham Palace, long a symbol of order and quiet continuity, stood silent. But beneath that silence, something was stirring. Asterisk. At 6:03 a.m., the first alert hit global networks. A breaking news banner in red. Prince William and Catherine declared co-regents of the United Kingdom. Asterisk. People stopped. Phones buzzed. Hands shook. Asterisk. Because no one was supposed to be declared anything. Not like this. And certainly not now. Beat. The last time anything like this happened was in 1811. Asterisk. And that had taken years of negotiation, illness, parliament debates, and the slow erosion of a king's mind. Asterisk. This happened overnight. Asterisk. No illness, no abdication, no death. Asterisk. Just a decision. Asterisk. And behind it, an invisible hand, a woman's voice, hushed, urgent. William didn't want it this way, she whispered. You have to understand that. Asterisk. Back to narrator. Asterisk. But power doesn't always ask for permission. Asterisk. And by the time the sun rose over Westminster, the United Kingdom was under new leadership, led not by the reigning monarch, but by the future king and queen. And almost no one knew who to trust anymore. Let's go back. 3 months earlier. Asterisk. The queen had not been seen in public for 42 days. Asterisk. This in itself wasn't unprecedented. Royal absences are carefully managed. A few missing weeks here and there could easily be chalked up to rest, minor illness, or private matters. But the murmurs began when her annual appearance at the Trooping the Colour was cancelled with no explanation. No stand, no letter read on her behalf. Just silence. Asterisk. At first it was just whispers in Parliament corridors, subtle shifts in tone from BBC correspondents, a few raised eyebrows from seasoned royal watchers. Then came the leaks, unnamed sources, phrases like unfit to rule, mental strain, shadow meetings. And suddenly it wasn't just whispers anymore, it was fear dialogue, a clipped male voice. Asterisk. You're telling me the Queen has been isolated for over a month, and no one knows who's actually running the crown? No one could give a straight answer. Not Clarence House, not Downing Street, not even the Prime Minister himself. Asterisk. Because the truth was, decisions were still being made. Asterisk. But not by the Queen. Asterisk. And the ones who knew weren't talking. Meanwhile, Prince William was restless. Asterisk. He'd always been the careful one, the deliberate one. He wasn't like his brother, Harry, fiery, reactive, ruled by emotion. William played the long game. But this felt wrong. He'd been kept out of briefings, cancelled from key state events. Catherine too had begun to notice it. Fewer calls from palace aides, silence from the Privy Council. Something was being hidden, and they were being locked out. Soft dialogue. Catherine, in the nursery. Asterisk. This isn't about succession anymore, she said. This is about control. And then, the meeting. Asterisk. One that never appeared on any official calendar. No press release, no photographs, but it happened in a private residence on the edge of Windsor. 3 men met with Prince William. One was a former cabinet secretary, one a top military advisor. Third, a man known only as M. We still don't know who he is, but he had documents. Dialogue. A low gravel voice. Asterisk. There's a risk of constitutional paralysis, he said, and foreign influence. If you don't act now, someone else will. What? He showed William changed everything. Asterisk. Evidence of back-channel communications. Royal seals used without the Queen's hand. A memo indicating a covert council operating in her name. Asterisk. This wasn't just about illness, it was about a takeover. And it had already begun. William didn't sleep that night. Asterisk. Catherine sat with him on the edge of their bed. She didn't say much. She didn't have to. They both knew what came next, but neither of them expected what followed. A leak. Strategic, surgical. Asterisk. The next morning, the Times ran a headline that would alter the monarchy forever. Asterisk. Royals in crisis. Who's really in charge? The British public woke to a kingdom in question. Asterisk. Questions turned into protests. Protest into pressure, and pressure into action. Asterisk. Within days, Parliament summoned emergency advisers. Asterisk. But by then, the palace had moved, not away from the crisis, through it. At 4:19 p.m., the royal standard was removed from Buckingham Palace. Asterisk. In its place, a statement, simple, final, by the collective will of the crown, and in service to national stability. Prince William and Princess Catherine are declared co-regents of the United Kingdom, effective immediately. Asterisk. Signed by the Queen's personal secretary, stamped with the Queen's seal, but not her signature. Dialogue. A stunned anchor. Asterisk. What does this mean? Where is the Queen? No one had an answer, but the streets outside the palace filled within hours. Some wept, some cheered, some stood silently, just staring, trying to understand what history felt like as it unfolded around them. In the weeks that followed, things moved fast. William and Catherine were everywhere. Parliament, state dinners, addresses to the nation. Not as placeholders, as leaders. Asterisk. They carried themselves like royalty. but made decisions like heads of state, asterisk for the first time in generations. The monarchy had teeth. Dialogue. Catherine, during her first official address, asterisk, we do not take this mantle lightly. This is not the end of something. It is the protection of everything that still holds us together, but not everyone agreed. Asterisk in the shadows. Those who once pulled strings began to push back, and the push turned ... violent. Asterisk a black SUV was rammed off the road just outside Kensington. Asterisk inside were 2 aides to the new regents. One remains in critical condition. Asterisk another young woman named Veles managed to crawl from the wreckage and whisper to medics. Asterisk they were trying to silence us. It became clear this was not a peaceful transition. Asterisk it was a coup, but not from the regents. From the ones they replaced. The Queen was alive, but not where the world thought she was. And not free. In a basement vault beneath Balmoral, Catherine found what they were never supposed to see. A diary. The Queen's own hand. Her words. Entries from just days before her disappearance. Asterisk. Quiet voice reads. Asterisk. They've taken the crown from me in everything but name. I fear I am no longer sovereign, only symbol. William must know. He must act, or they will inherit not a throne, but a prison. With those pages, everything became clear. There had been a manipulation, a shadow network, operating beneath the palace for years, maybe decades. Asterisk using her name, hollowing her power, and when she tried to resist, they locked her away. Asterisk William, whispering to Catherine. Asterisk, we don't just have a duty to rule now, we have a duty to free her. The operation was swift and it was not approved by any government, led by loyalists, former royal guards, and a few hand-picked operatives. They stormed the remote Scottish estate at midnight. Asterisk by dawn. She was free and frail. Asterisk, not broken, but distant, confused, her speech slow, her memory fractured. Asterisk, but when she saw William, she smiled, her voice trembling. Asterisk, you came. The news broke an hour later. The Queen had returned and she had chosen to abdicate on her own terms. Asterisk, she blessed the Co-Regency, not just as temporary ... but permanent. Back to narration. The monarchy had changed. Asterisk, not with bloodshed, but not without pain. What began as a silent coup became something no one expected, a new era. Asterisk rooted not in tradition, but in resilience. Asterisk not in lineage, but in love. William and Catherine ruled side by side as equals, not just monarchs, not just parents. Symbols of something deeper that even the oldest institutions can change. Asterisk that even power can be held with grace. Some say it was the end of the monarchy as we knew it. Asterisk others, they call it the moment Britain was saved. Asterisk last lines. Soft emotional ... Asterisk, and somewhere in the gardens of Windsor, the former Queen walks slowly among the roses, a crown set aside, a nation reborn. Asterisk and 2 hearts standing where one used to rule. Asterisk.